Okay, I want to thank you for choosing my video to watch. Hopefully you were inspired by the picture that you see in the beginning here. I actually found something very similar to this at Joann's, and I was very inspired by it. I was like, I can make that. I think I can do that. But I didn't like the way that it was dark and the letters were red. I really wanted something more green and more white to go on my white wall. I didn't want it to stand out so much. So I think for the price, this one is a much bigger sign than the one that they had. So I think value-wise, this is really awesome. It really came out nice, and I think you could kind of take inspiration from this and go whichever route you wanted to go. The inspiration photo is at the end, and you will see exactly how these two compare. Thank you very much. Okay, this is the design space portion of the video. What I'm going to do here is type in the letters that I'm going to be using, and this is definitely not the font. I've already searched my fonts. I'm going to go into my system and I am going to type in the one that is in here somewhere. Okay, let's see. That's it. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is the one I like. Now, I don't like that this is a little bit too thin, and I'm going to be using that plaid vinyl on there. So what I want to do is make this bolder, and that's just going to give it a little more heft in the letters. We are definitely not going to use this O, because the O is going to be the wreath that you saw in the beginning. So what we're going to do is take this we're going to take this O out. We're going to go down and go down, and this is going to simulate the letters going horizontal like we have it on the picture. Now right now I'm going to change this to a 32 inches tall, because that's how long I want it to be. I think it's about a 34-inch length, but I'm going to make it 32 just to kind of give a little the pictures that I saw at the pieces that I saw at Joann's and Hobby Lobby and all that, they have just a little bit more room on the top and the bottom, just to kind of, I don't know, it makes it look a little more professional, I think. So right now we have this at 32 inches for these particular letters, but what we want to do is we're going to separate these, because I want to get the same simulation of it being the 32 inches, you know, in height, and the 9 inches wide. And so I am going to ungroup these letters. Okay, I'm going to ungroup. I'm going to pull this down and pull this, and what I'm going to do to simulate that wreath is I'm going to pull in a circle, and I'm going to kind of make it probably, let's see, 7 inches. That's probably going to be about the size of that wreath, but it will probably, you know, we'll be able to gauge that when we get it on there. So let's unlock this, and we're going to do this at 32 inches tall, and this is about what we're looking for. We want this, we're gonna, let's go ahead and center this horizontally so we know all the letters are solid. Now it's going to be a little bit different when you're cutting it, because you're probably going to use like one sheet for each letter because of the size of the letters, but I still like to kind of make it even, just for the sake of making sure that the size and everything looks right. So everything on this screen is going to reflect what we're doing after we cut it. You know, I hope that makes sense. Okay, so what we're going to do is make this, but you see how now we have a circle? Now you could just ignore this when you're cutting it, or you could take this and just undo it. That way, see, each one of these is going to take up one sheet of that plaid vinyl that I got at Target. So, but that's okay. That's why we got plenty, and that's why it's only $1. And so $1, it's totally worth it. That's, you know, $3 for these letters, which, you know, and $5, and I got 2 wreaths out of the 6 foot of wreath that I got at Target as well. So all in all, right now we're at about $5.50, and then the picture, I guess the frame, I guess I would say, that we put it on. Now we're looking at like $20, a little over $20 for that. Plus I got 20% off, so it's probably about $20. A little less, maybe $17 or something like that. And so all in all, you're really coming out with a gorgeous, gorgeous painting, you know, picture with not that much, you know, not that much money. So it's very cool. The second part of what we're going to do with this is we are going to create craft board letters in order to make it look more in depth. Instead of the letters just being right on the board, the frame, we're going to cut them with the craft board, and we're going to have that, just that little bit of 3D look to it, and I think it's really going to elevate this. So in order to go back, okay, so what we're also going to do is we are going to duplicate these, and we are going to make the same exact letters, but we are going to make them in craft board. And that craft board, what it's going to do is sit on the back of that vinyl. You're going to, you know, strategically place it on top of the craft board, and then you're going to place that whole thing on the frame that we got, and that is going to give it just this, you know, 3-dimensional look, which I think is really going to elevate it. And so I'm excited about that. I think you're really going to love it. You're really going to fall in love with the craft board. I've been using it like crazy, and now that I got my deep cut blade, ooh, it's going to be so nice to cut this. So, but what we want to do is we want to take 3 of these, and we're just going to change the color on this, because we're going to put these on one big sheet of craft board. So we're going to keep the black ones as the green plaid that we're going to use, and then we're going to do the gray one on a big long sheet of craft board. So we're going to make it, and what we're going to do is change this to a 12 by 24. So we're going to be able to get all of those letters in that space there, which is very nice. I'm just gonna move these just a tad bit away from each other. So these 3 are going to be our sheets of green vinyl, and this is going to be our craft board here, and we're going to put these green vinyls on top. It's going to look amazing. I'm so excited to show you this beautiful craft. Okay, so this is actually going to be a 12 by 18 sheet. So we're going to do 12 by 19, and we're going to have to cut this one on a regular, let's see, 12 by 12 sheet. So we will change that, and then we'll cut this one on a regular sheet here. Either way, I wanted to come back and edit that. So we're going to press continue, and we are going to cut these. Okay, in this portion here, we're going to come up here, we're going to type in Kraft, and we're going to get Kraft board right here. And you can star this, but I have a whole bunch that are my favorites, so I already starred those. If I star this, it only lets you have like 10 favorites or something like that. So, you know, you just have to come in and type it out. Although it is becoming more my favorite here lately. So I'm going to change this into a deep cut blade. So I'm going to pop this out, and I will show that on the video of me changing out the deep cut blade for this fine point blade. And we're still going to do more. Actually, since I'm going to do the deep cut, I'm going to stick that, I'm going to say we're just going to keep it at default, because this is my first time doing the deep cut blade, and I don't want to cut through my mat or something like that. So we're going to do deep cut. I changed this in edit tools, came over here to deep cut, deep point blade, and we're going to do default, because we're just going to leave it like that. And we will pick up over on the craft table, cutting the craft board. Okay, so I am going to, I got these blades on Amazon, and so I am going to link that in the description. But this is a deep cut blade here, and we're going to switch this out. What you do is take this piece right here. Excuse me, I've been suffering from a cough. We're going to take this out. See how it pushes out like that? We're going to take this out, and we are going to replace it with our deep cut blade here. So we're going to push that in, and there it is. It's in there. So I'm going to put that back. And we will just put this little blade right in there for safekeeping right now, because that blade is perfectly fine. So I'm going to put that up there. Now, we are going to use our long 12 by 24 mat, which we get 12 by 18 out of this particular board. So we're going to be able to cut 2 letters from this. And I'm excited to see what this deep cut blade looks like. So we're going to push our button, and we're good to go. Okay, we are done cutting our letters. You'll see. Okay, we're going to flip this over and do our back. Okay, put this back here. Okay, so we keep crafting very real on this channel. So I used the deep cut blade, but I did not use more pressure. And so I would definitely suggest using more pressure, because I've had to sit here and cut these out of here. So I think it cut really nicely deep, but I think we just need to do more pressure, and then I think we will be solid on that. So I just wanted to keep that real with you guys because I think it's only right to be real. So I'm going to cut these little pieces off here so we can keep those just in case we want to do something small. But I've got my letter N and my E now. So I'm going to cut my L and then cut my vinyl, and then we'll pick up from there. I'm going to show you, I cut this piece off of another project that I did, and it just happens to be perfect. We need it to be about 7, and we need it to be about 8. So we're going to get that nice L right in there, which makes this perfect. Okay, let's see how this L cut out with using more pressure. This is a strong grip mat. So it grips strongly to a lot of things. Okay, let's see. Yep, we're still going to have to cut through this. So I'm not sure if a deep cut blade is any better or worse. So I'm not sure. I may have to try a couple more settings to find out if this deep cut blade is worth the hype. Okay, so these are the sheets that I got from Target. They are just peel and stick vinyl, which you can use, it says here, on your cutting machine. So anything like this, if you find it at the dollar store or at, any random place, if you find just a sheet of vinyl like this, you can definitely use it in this machine. No problem. I'm sure in a Silhouette and a Brothers Scan and Cut is the same. So this is just one sheet, and it was $1, which is not bad for vinyl, not bad for print vinyl. So each one of these letters is going to take up, we're not going to be able to get more than 2 letters on each one. So I'm just going to put this, each one of them in here and cut them like that. And then I'll save the excess for any other type of project that might come along that I would need a small little piece of plaid. Always save your scraps. Okay, so I've cut out each one on the plaid vinyl here. I've got my cardstock or my craft board letters here. So I'm going to cut each one of these to save some of the vinyl here. So I've got my True Control knife here. I am going to cut all the way down to here. And if you wanted to, you have this kind of square in here too, if you wanted to save that. Sometimes I get pretty frugal. Sometimes it's, whatever. So cutting each one. There we go. And the N. Okay. So I'm not going to show each one of these, but I will show one of them so that we can see how it comes off and goes on to the craft board. This is pretty easy. I don't do any kind of transfer tape or anything like that because, you just pretty much just kind of have to be careful pulling it off. There we go. Okay, I'll get my N here. So I have found these pretty easy when I put them on.
I just kind of start at one point and just kind of get it going. And then once it kind of follows the board, it really honestly kind of goes on there. I haven't had that too much trouble with it. Yeah, once you get it kind of going in the right direction, it really honestly just kind of sets itself. It's pretty easy to do, and I think it's really going to come out nicely. You just have to be careful. Patience is virtue with this, definitely. The slower you take it, the better. There we go. Just kind of make sure it's going in the right direction. There we go. All right. And see, that didn't take too long at all. And you only have 3 letters to do because we're doing the O in the wreath. Honestly, that's just, it doesn't really take that much time to do. It really turns out well. If you need to kind of, but there it is. Very nice. I need to get a light for the back side so y'all can see it. So let's see. There we go. So that looks very nice. And I think once it goes on the whiteboard like that, it's going to look really nice. I will continue with my E and my L, and we'll pick up after that. Okay, so I have this piece that I bought at Joann's, and it is like 34 inches tall and about 9 inches wide. So that's why we did the letters about 8 inches wide so that we had just a little bit of room on each side. I've just kind of taped them up here so you can see how they look. But I think that this is going to really be amazing hanging up. Obviously, I've had the video at the beginning that has shown, but I wanted to show you, I got this at Target, and it is 6-foot garland, and it was $5. I went ahead and got 2 just in case. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with the second one, but so I've unraveled it, and I have it here, and I have my wire cutters here. You're definitely going to need these. It comes with like this little hook, but I don't necessarily know if I'm going to need that, but I'm going to try to form this while I have y'all here and show you how we're going to do it. So each little pine cone is kind of, but I don't want to use much because I want to make enough for a circle. So I'm just going to kind of fold it up here and see what will work. But I really want to make an O in the middle. So this will be, we'll have kind of the circle there. So I'm going to kind of fiddle with this and see how this can come out. But you're going to probably have to bend and form so that you get a decent amount of, greenery and the pine cones. And you might want to bend it, bend one piece down and over and that kind of thing. So yeah, I think I'm going to fiddle with this and see how it's kind of coming out there. But I need to make it small enough to where it's going to fit in just in that little circle there. So, but I'm going to go from there. I'll turn y'all off and I will come back when I have it all sorted. So I've kind of got my circle here. I think that's going to fit nicely in my little circle spot, but you're going to have to do some finagling as far as gluing it down and really getting it onto the board so that it looks kind of put on there, and I think that's going to be the challenge there. But if you're watching this video all the way through, you've already seen at the beginning that I did somehow make it work. So anyways, I'm going to get that put on there. I'm going to get the rest of my letters put on there, and we'll be done. And that's pretty much it, folks. That's how you do it. I think this is going to be really, really a nice piece that you keep for a very long time. I'm excited. Okay, so we are going to glue our letters on. Take my tape off. And I'm just going to use hot glue, just a little bit here and there, because I don't want to have it coming off, bubbling out underneath. So we're just going to kind of strategically place it. Just a little bead here and there. I do want to get the edges, but you just have to be careful that you're not going to spill it out over the edge. You just need a little bit. I mean, this isn't going to be hanging up all year round and all of that, so I think you'll be good with just a little bit of it. And we have this upside down, so we're gonna put this like that. So where the wreath is concerned, I'm just gonna kind of get it where I can get it as far as the glue goes, because I'm gonna have to sit here and push it down, and I'm going to have to probably glue this a couple of times. So I'm going to have to hold it down to get that to stick where I want it to stick. So I might have to do this a couple of times in certain places. So, but I think the outcome is going to be amazing. So I've got the N, I've got the O, and what I'm going to do here is put the L on first to kind of match the, just to kind of see, and then I'll put the N kind of, or the E strategically in that mix there. But I think I'm going to do the L first, but I just wanted to kind of show you progress, what's going on.
I want to thank you for watching my video. I want to thank you for sticking with me through all of my training and teachings. Hopefully everything made sense. I have all the confidence in the world that you can achieve this look, that you can make it what you want. You can make those letters any color or any style that you would like. Hopefully I gave you the base for this look. I saw something in a store. I said, I can do that. I can make that my own. I can achieve the look I wanted, and I know you can too. If you don't mind, hit that subscribe button, and when that bell appears, there will be a drop-down menu, and go ahead and pick all, and that way, just in case if I'm doing a